Feeling fine can be misleading. Your liver may already be whispering for help. Ignored, tiny daily habits can snowball into fatigue, brain fog, and stubborn digestion. Stay with me for a clear, safe blueprint to read the signs early and support your liver without fads or fear. After 40, the liver becomes the most underrated teammate in the body. Quiet, tireless, and often overlooked until it starts sending subtle messages. I want to earn your trust from the start. This is not about fear or miracle cures. It's about practical, safe steps you can apply today, explained in clear language so you can make informed choices. And yes, by the end of this content, you'll get a bonus tip, a simple, safe pantry tweak that can gently amplify the benefits of your routine without complicated routines or expensive products. Keep this in mind as we move forward, because small decisions made consistently can shape your energy, mood, and long-term health. Why does the liver ask for more attention after 40? Aging slightly changes how we process fats, sugars, and certain medications. Many people also carry fast, convenient habits from their 20s into midlife. Drive-thru breakfasts with fried wraps, syrup-sweetened lattes, tailgate barbecues with multiple refills of soda, and late-night takeout after long work days. Add weekend relief drinks, plus over-the-counter pain relievers for a sore back or a headache, and the liver gets a heavy to-do list. None of this makes you a bad person. It just means the organ that handles detoxification, nutrient processing, and bile production is busier than it looks. One of the most ignored early signs is disproportionate fatigue, tiredness that feels bigger than your day's effort, especially after meals high in fat and sugar. Picture a typical North American brunch: pancakes with syrup, bacon, and a creamy coffee drink. That combination asks your liver to manage a surge of sugar, handle saturated fat, and adjust bile flow for digestion. If you consistently feel a post-meal energy crash, foggy thinking, or a heavy sensation under the right ribs, consider it a respectful nudge to observe patterns rather than a reason to panic. Fatigue has many causes, but repeated crashes linked to food are a useful clue. Accuracy matters with health, and details like quantity and preparation can change outcomes, sometimes in ways people don't expect. A natural product is not automatically safer at any dose. Highly concentrated herbal extracts or megadoses of supplements can interact with medications and stress the liver. The same goes for everyday items. Combining alcohol with acetaminophen, Tylenol R, may not seem like a big deal, but the liver notices. If you use medications or live with a medical condition, talk with your healthcare professional before changing routines. Precision keeps good intentions from turning into setbacks. Let's translate this into actions you can take today. First, make hydration effortless. If you usually grab a large soda at lunch or rely on refills at casual restaurants, swap the first one for still or sparkling water and add a wedge of lemon or lime. Keep a lightweight bottle at your desk and aim to finish it by noon. Dehydration concentrates urine and can make normal liver byproducts feel more intense. Adequate water supports bile flow and digestion. Second, build a gentle movement habit. A 10-minute walk right after meals improves post-meal blood sugar and helps you feel lighter. Third, simplify your morning coffee. Filtered coffee early in the day without syrups or heavy creamers can fit well for many people. Keep it modest and avoid late caffeine that disturbs sleep. Good sleep is a daily liver ally. Fourth, audit your condiments and snacks. High fructose corn syrup hides in barbecue sauce, ketchup, and even some light salad dressings. Reaching for a squeeze bottle during a backyard cookout is routine across the U.S., but 2 tablespoons here and there add up quickly. Choose options with lower added sugar or use a simple mix of olive oil, lemon, and herbs. Fifth, revisit your plate composition. Add a handful of bitter or peppery greens, arugula, escarole, or mixed spring greens at lunch and dinner. These are culinary amounts, not medicinal doses. Combined with adequate protein and fiber, they help you feel satisfied without overwhelming your digestion. To make these changes stick, turn them into experiments rather than rules. For 2 weeks, keep a short, judgment-free log. What you ate, when you ate, how you felt 1 hour later, and any use of alcohol or pain relievers. You're not diagnosing yourself, you're collecting context. Patterns often appear by day 5. If you notice that fatigue and brain fog intensify after certain meals or drinks, adjust the portion size or the combination of foods and record what changes. If symptoms persist, bring your notes to a qualified professional. It makes the conversation faster and safer. There's also an emotional side worth acknowledging. Many midlife habits are social. Friday pizza nights with the family, a weekend beer during the game, or brunch with friends. The goal is not to erase joy. It's to remove friction so you can enjoy those moments with better energy afterward. A small pre-meal walk, a lighter sauce, an unsweetened iced tea instead of the second soda. These are realistic shifts that respect both health and culture. Remember, consistent, gentle improvements matter more than perfect days. Before we move on, a responsible reminder. If you experiment with homemade infusions or new ingredients, keep quantities culinary and preparation simple. Wash produce thoroughly, avoid overly concentrated brews, and stop if you notice discomfort. Natural does not mean risk-free, and careful preparation is part of self-care. If a subtle, recurring fatigue, especially after rich meals, sounds familiar, treat it as useful information. Your body is asking for fine-tuning, not fear. You now have several levers to pull: hydration, simple coffee without syrups, walking after meals, sugar-savvy condiments, and a serving of greens. Keep the bonus promise in mind. There's a gentle pantry upgrade coming that ties these choices together. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it will not only limit your results, but may also bring unwanted side effects. Consider this a practical, informative heads-up rather than a warning. If unusual tiredness after heavy meals has been showing up in your notes, the next place to listen is the bathroom. It's the quiet dashboard you check every day without thinking about it. What you see there, color, consistency, and how you feel right after, can offer low-drama, high-value clues about how well bile is flowing and how your body is processing what you eat and drink. We'll keep this accessible and practical, sticking to everyday actions rooted in common sense. Nothing here replaces medical advice, and nothing asks you to buy exotic products. The goal is clarity, not anxiety. Start with urine color. Darker than usual urine happens easily on busy days when you forget to drink water after intense exercise or when you've had coffee, tea, or alcohol without balancing fluids. Certain vitamins, foods like beets or medications can also change color. But when urine remains unusually dark throughout the day despite drinking enough water, and especially if you notice yellowing of the eyes or skin, that's a signal to pause and seek professional evaluation. Persistently concentrated byproducts can reflect more than simple dehydration, and paying attention early helps you act thoughtfully instead of reactively. Now look at stool color and texture. Pale, clay-colored stools are different from an occasional lighter shade after an unusual meal. If the lack of color repeats, or if stools look greasy and are difficult to flush, your body may not be sending enough bile into the intestine to break down fats. Bile gives stool its typical brown color. When bile flow drops, stool lightens. This does not diagnose anything by itself, but it is a relevant pattern you can document. On the other end of the spectrum, very dark stools can be related to iron supplements or foods like blueberries, but persistent black stool deserves prompt medical attention. Keep your observations grounded and calm. You're simply noting patterns, not labeling yourself. Nausea or queasiness after high-fat meals is another underappreciated message. Think of a typical drive-thru dinner: fried chicken sandwich, fries, and a large soda refill. That mix asks your digestion to coordinate sugar spikes with fat handling in a short time window. If you regularly feel a wave of discomfort, burping, or a heavy sensation under the right ribs after such meals, your system may be telling you that the portion size or timing isn't working. Again, many factors can cause nausea, from motion sickness to reflux. The value here is in connecting what, when, and how much with how I feel, and then making measured, sustainable adjustments. Let's turn these observations into actions you can take today. Create a hydration ladder that fits your life. 1 glass of water is the first thing you drink in the morning. 1 glass with each meal, and 1 glass in the late afternoon when people often reach for a second coffee or another soda. If you enjoy sparkling water, use it as a bridge away from sweet drinks at restaurants where refills are common. In hot weather or after sweat-heavy activities, add a pinch of salt and a squeeze of citrus to water rather than grabbing a neon sports drink. The aim is steady fluid intake, not chugging a liter at once. Next, simplify fat-heavy meals. You don't have to abandon barbecue or game day snacks, just change the ratios. Build your plate around a palm-sized portion of protein, add a big handful of non-starchy vegetables, and keep fried sides as a taste, not the centerpiece. If you love sauces, check labels for high fructose corn syrup and consider versions with less added sugar. A drizzle of olive oil and lemon can carry a lot of flavor. For many people, a small salad with peppery or bitter greens before the main course makes the whole meal feel lighter. These are culinary portions, not herbal treatments, and that distinction matters for safety. Use movement as digestion's best friend. A 10 to 15-minute walk after lunch or dinner works like a reset button. It nudges blood sugar in a better direction, encourages bowel regularity, and often reduces the food coma that tempts you to reach for more caffeine. In suburban neighborhoods or office parks, take a loop around the block. In cold climates, walk indoor corridors or climb a few flights of stairs. Consistency wins. Do what's realistic, then repeat it. Track and reflect without judgment. For 2 weeks, note meal composition, drink choices, bathroom observations, and how you feel 90 minutes later. If pale stools or unusually dark urine keep showing up despite steady hydration and balanced meals, that is information to share with a clinician who knows your history and medications. Bringing notes saves time, reduces guesswork, and helps your care plan stay safe, especially if you take supplements. Natural products can still interact with medication, and concentrated extracts are not the same as food-level amounts. Preparation and quantity matter here more than people realize. If you make a homemade infusion, say warm water with a thin peel of lemon and a few mint leaves, keep it gentle. Wash produce thoroughly, use a light touch, and avoid strong, long steeps. More is not better. If you're sensitive to citrus or menthol, skip it and choose plain water. Your body's feedback is the guide. The same goes for fiber. Add gradually to avoid discomfort, aiming for steady intake from vegetables, beans, and whole grains rather than sudden large doses from powders. This careful approach is how you sidestep side effects while building habits that last. Finally, reconnect with why you're doing this. You're building a better daily rhythm. Hydration that keeps your urine comfortably light, meals that don't leave you queasy, digestion that feels regular and predictable. You're choosing energy over extremes, clarity over confusion. None of it requires perfection or expensive trends. It asks for attention, small tweaks, and respect for how the body signals change. When bathroom clues speak up, dark urine despite good hydration, pale stools on repeat, queasiness after heavy fried meals, don't panic and don't ignore them. Treat them as helpful prompts to fine-tune portions, ingredients, and timing while keeping a careful eye on preparation and doses. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it will not only limit your results, but may also bring unwanted side effects. Consider this an informed, responsible nudge to keep going with care. If the bathroom dashboard has sharpened your attention to everyday clues, the next storyteller is the skin. It keeps records in plain sight. How quickly you bruise after bumping a countertop, whether an itch shows up without a visible rash, how long a scrape takes to close. None of these details diagnose anything on their own, and none of them are reasons to panic. But patterns over time can help you make smarter, safer choices. The aim here is practical. Simple steps you can apply right away with a steady tone and no drama. Start with itch that seems to come out of nowhere, especially in the evening. Dry winter air, long hot showers, and fragranced products are common culprits, especially in heated homes where humidity drops. Yet persistent, generalized itching without a visible rash can sometimes reflect changes in how your body processes and moves certain compounds, including those handled through bile. When the balance isn't ideal, the skin can feel prickly or restless, even when it looks normal. Before you jump to conclusions, audit the basics. Shorten showers, use lukewarm water, pat the skin gently, and apply an unscented moisturizer within 3 minutes. Many North American homes lean on strongly scented body washes, fabric softeners, and dryer sheets. Try fragrance-free versions for 2 weeks and see how your skin responds. Bruises that appear easily are another quiet nudge to pay attention. A stray bump on a coffee table followed by a larger-than-expected mark may simply reflect thinner skin with age, certain medications, or a day of vigorous activity. But if you notice bruises popping up with minimal contact, or if they linger unusually long, pause and collect context rather than self-labeling. Track what was happening that week. New high-intensity workouts, a switch to a stronger laundry detergent, an herbal supplement added on top of medications, or a weekend with several alcoholic drinks. Remember that natural doesn't always mean gentle. Concentrated extracts can interact with medications. Keep doses culinary unless a professional who knows your history advises otherwise. Slow-to-heal scrapes tell their own story about recovery capacity. Healing relies on enough protein, vitamin C, zinc, and good sleep. Simple foundations that occasionally get sidelined by oversized muffins, sugary coffee drinks, and late-night screen time. If a small cut from chopping vegetables stays tender longer than expected, use it as a prompt to check your routine. Are you getting a palm-sized portion of protein at meals, 2 fistfuls of vegetables most days, and a consistent bedtime? Many people in fast-paced North American schedules do well to keep prepped items on hand. Washed salad greens, canned beans, eggs, frozen berries. So nourishment doesn't depend on willpower in the moment. Because itching and bruising have many causes, approach changes with care. Adjust one variable at a time so you can see what helps. Replace a strong body scrub with a gentle, fragrance-free cleanser. Swap a long, hot shower for a shorter, lukewarm one, and finish with a quick, cool rinse. Run a humidifier in winter and keep indoor humidity in the comfortable middle range. Use fragrance-free detergent and skip fabric softener for a trial period. These tweaks address common irritants that can masquerade as deeper issues. What you put on your plate influences the skin's messages too. Build meals that stabilize energy. A palm of protein, fish, chicken, tofu, beans, 2 fists of colorful vegetables, and a modest portion of whole grains or starchy vegetables. Add a squeeze of lemon or a spoon of olive oil for flavor rather than leaning on sugary sauces. Barbecue, ketchup, and some light dressings often hide high fructose corn syrup. Culinary amounts of bitter greens like arugula or escarole can make heavy meals feel lighter without resorting to intense detox blends. Remember that strong herbal teas and concentrated powders are not the same as food. Keep preparations mild and quantities reasonable. If itch drives you to scratch, protect the skin gently. Keep nails short. At night, try a thin layer of plain petrolatum or a simple moisturizer on the itchiest areas and wear soft cotton to reduce friction. A brief cool compress can interrupt the urge to scratch without harsh topical agents. Pair these surface strategies with the underlying habits. Hydration spread through the day, a 10-minute walk after meals to encourage healthy digestion, and a bedtime routine that actually helps you wind down. Dim lights, a calm playlist, and a consistent sleep window. The combination matters more than any one trick. Read labels with an eye for interactions. If you use over-the-counter pain relievers for a sore back or a weekend headache, follow package directions carefully and avoid combining alcohol with acetaminophen. If you take prescription medication, let your clinician know about supplements, including liver cleanses. Transparency prevents surprises. Bring your 2-week observation notes, itch timing, bruising frequency, and any skin changes, so decisions are tailored to you. Small preparation details can change outcomes. If you try a homemade soothing soak, think culinary, not medicinal. A small handful of plain, finely ground oats tied in a clean cloth, swished briefly through warm water, then removed. Test on a small area first and keep soaks short. If you're sensitive to grains or have skin conditions, skip DIY experiments and stick with simple moisturizers instead. More concentration is not more benefit. More commonly means more irritation. As you practice these steps, Notice what improves. Less evening itch after cutting shower time. Fewer bruises when you sleep more consistently. Faster healing when your plate includes steady protein and vegetables. The goal is to feel more comfortable in your own skin while taking pressure off the systems that work behind the scenes. You are building a realistic routine that respects culture and schedule. Whether that's a quick gym session before work, a backyard cookout with a lighter sauce, or a grocery run that prioritizes a few key staples. When the skin speaks, itch without rash, bruises that arrive too easily, scrapes that linger, listen calmly, change one thing at a time, and document the pattern. Preparation and quantity matter as much as the ingredients you choose. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it will not only limit your results, but may also bring unwanted side effects. Take this as a clear, informed reminder to keep going with care. If the skin has taught you to notice patterns without panic, the mind adds a subtler clue, that hazy, slow-to-start feeling after a sugary, high-fat meal. Many people call it brain fog, and it's easy to blame on stress or a busy day. Look at what's on the table and the timing. A large, sweet coffee drink with a bakery muffin, a fast food lunch with fries and a refillable soda, or a late-night pizza after a long drive creates a quick swing in how the body manages energy. When the swings repeat, your focus and motivation can feel like a dimmer switch turned down. This isn't a moral failing. It's your system asking for a steadier fuel source and gentler pacing. Begin with breakfast. Stability early helps the rest of the day. Choose a palm-sized portion of protein: eggs, Greek yogurt, tofu scramble, or leftover roast chicken, plus fiber from oats, berries, or whole grain toast with avocado. Keep the coffee filtered and simple, especially if you enjoy it first thing. Skip syrups and dessert-like creamers. Many North American cafes sell blended drinks that contain more sugar than a can of soda. When your morning starts that sweet, it's hard to steer back. If you like something cold, try unsweetened iced coffee or tea with a splash of milk instead of a frozen concoction. Taste buds adjust faster than you think. Anchor lunch so you don't chase cravings. Build a stability plate, a palm of protein, 2 fists of colorful vegetables, and a modest portion of whole grains or starchy vegetables. Add a simple dressing, olive oil, lemon, herbs, instead of bottled sauces with high fructose corn syrup. If you're grabbing food near the office park, look for bowls where you can choose greens, beans, and a protein, and ask for sauces on the side. When energy stays even, that after-meal fog eases without extra caffeine. Movement acts like a reset button. A 10 to 15-minute walk after meals improves how your body handles sugar and can ease the heavy feeling under the right ribs that some people notice after rich foods. If weather or time is a barrier, use what you have. Climb a few flights of stairs, pace the hallway while on a call, or do 2 minutes of brisk marching in place. Many North American workplaces normalize long sitting time. Interrupt the pattern with small bursts. Consistency trumps intensity. Evening habits deserve attention. Late caffeine blurs sleep, and inconsistent sleep can nudge appetite toward quick energy the next day. If you enjoy wine or beer with dinner, be cautious with over-the-counter pain relievers later in the evening. Follow label directions and avoid mixing alcohol with acetaminophen. Keep a simple, no liquid sugar after 7 p.m. Window: water, unsweetened tea, or seltzer only. This quiet rule helps the liver focus on housekeeping rather than processing one more sweet drink. Label literacy is a practical superpower. Sugars hide in places you might not expect. Barbecue sauce at a backyard cookout, low-fat dressings in the refrigerator door, bottled coffee beverages at the gas station. Turn the package and look for high fructose corn syrup, cane sugar, and long lists of syrups. If the first few ingredients are sweeteners, that product is acting like a dessert. Choose simpler options or use smaller amounts. In restaurants that offer free refills, start with water and keep sweet drinks as a single, intentional choice. If you notice a tightness under the right ribs after heavy meals, treat it as a prompt to modify the mix rather than a verdict about your health. Keep portions comfortable. Add a side salad with bitter greens and walk afterward. If discomfort persists, bring your food log and symptoms to a clinician who knows your history. This saves time and improves safety, especially if you take medications or supplements. Natural products can still interact with prescriptions, and more concentration is not more benefit. Make the next 2 weeks a gentle experiment. At breakfast, lead with protein and fiber and keep coffee simple. At lunch, build the stability plate and finish with a short walk. At dinner, avoid liquid sugar and keep sauces honest. Note how your focus, mood, and digestion feel 90 minutes after each meal. If brain fog and energy dips fade, you found a lever that works for you. If not, adjust one variable at a time: portion size, meal timing, or the balance of protein, fats, and carbohydrates. The point is not perfection. It's predictability you can trust. Preparation details matter. If you try a homemade beverage to make water more appealing, keep it culinary. A thin slice of citrus and a few crushed mint leaves in a large pitcher, infused briefly and stored safely in the refrigerator. Wash, produce thoroughly, and avoid strong, long steeps. If carbonated water helps you switch away from soda, great. Just choose options without added sweeteners. If you prefer warm drinks, plain tea can be soothing. Check labels for added flavors and keep caffeine modest. Every small improvement compounds. A steady breakfast smooths your morning. A post-meal walk clears the afternoon haze. Reading labels cuts invisible sugar that chips away at energy. You're not chasing a quick fix. You're building a rhythm that respects how your body actually feels. When focus returns and your waistband feels a little less tight, that's feedback to keep going. If meals leave you foggy, if refills keep sneaking in, or if late-night snacks are becoming a habit, use these steps to shift the pattern without stress. Keep portions reasonable, preparation simple, and doses modest. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it will not only limit your results, but may also bring unwanted side effects. Take this as a straightforward, informed prompt to continue with care. If steady breakfasts, label literacy, and short walks have already started to clear your head, you're ready for a twist that surprises a lot of people. An everyday ally becomes powerful when used thoughtfully, and 3 common habits quietly push in the opposite direction. None of this is about fear or perfection. It's about choosing preparation and portions that respect how your body actually feels, so the lift you've noticed doesn't fade by Friday. Begin with the ally hiding in plain sight. Simple, filtered coffee early in the day. Used with intention, it can fit well for many adults, supporting alertness and a pleasant morning rhythm. The details matter. Brew with a paper filter, keep the serving modest, and avoid layering in dessert-level syrups or heavy creamers. Think 1 small mug enjoyed slowly, ideally before late morning. If you're sensitive to caffeine or aiming for less, choose half-calf or decaf, but keep the preparation the same. Paper filtration, plain and measured. In many North American cafes, a blended drink can pack more sugar than a can of soda. That sweet start nudges you toward energy swings and a second coffee you don't really want. Keeping the cup simple is not about deprivation. It's about reducing friction so your breakfast choices can do their job. Pair this with hydration you'll actually follow. A glass of water first thing, then alternate sips of water with your coffee. This small habit makes all-day drinking easier and simplifies bathroom clues. Lighter urine color through the day suggests you're on track, so a darker tone becomes a useful prompt to pause and refill rather than something to worry about. If plain water is boring, keep it culinary. A thin slice of citrus or a few mint leaves briefly infused and kept cool. Now meet the saboteurs that undo hard work, often without fanfare. The first shows up at celebrations and quiet nights alike: alcohol combined with acetaminophen. Both are common in North American routines. Game day beers, a glass of wine at a backyard cookout, and a pain reliever later for a sore back or a headache. The safest choice is simple. Follow label directions exactly and avoid mixing alcohol with acetaminophen. If you drink, give your body time before taking any pain reliever, and if you need medication, skip the alcohol. This single adjustment protects your efforts more than most people realize. The second saboteur hides in bottles and squeeze packets. Added sugar, especially high fructose corn syrup and condiments. Ketchup, barbecue sauce, and some light salad dressings can quietly turn a balanced plate into a sugar-forward meal. Turn the bottle and read the first few ingredients. If multiple sweeteners show up early, treat that sauce like a dessert. You don't have to abandon the flavor you love, just reduce the default dose and explore simpler options. Mix a spoon of unsweetened tomato puree with your favorite barbecue sauce to cut sweetness by half, or whisk olive oil, lemon, and herbs as a fresh dressing. At a cookout, pour sauces into small bowls, so dipping is intentional, not automatic. The third saboteur wears a health halo: megadoses of supplements and detox kits. Natural doesn't mean risk-free, and concentrated extracts are not the same as culinary herbs. If you take prescription medications or manage a medical condition, introduce nothing strong without professional guidance. Keep notes on what you use and when, and bring them to your clinician so you can avoid interactions. The food-first approach you've been building, protein, vegetables, steady hydration, modest coffee, works because it's sustainable. Overloading your system with intense powders or tinctures can distract from the basics that actually help. Turn these ideas into actions that fit real life. Create a morning autopilot: water, simple filtered coffee, and a protein-forward breakfast before email or news. This 3-step routine takes less than 10 minutes and sets the tone for even energy. Build a condiment audit into your grocery run. Choose a lower sugar ketchup and a barbecue sauce where sugar isn't in the first 2 ingredients. Keep a small jar of a quick homemade dressing, 2 parts olive oil to 1 part lemon juice with a pinch of salt, in the refrigerator door so salads are easy. And add a line to your notes: alcohol plus acetaminophen? Circle no. It's an uncomplicated safety check that pays off repeatedly. Preparation details change outcomes more than people expect. For coffee, use 1 to 2 tablespoons of medium grind beans per 6 ounces of water. Brew through paper, and drink it earlier in the day to keep sleep reliable. If you're sensitive to any ingredient, scale down or skip it. Listening to your body is a strategy, not a guess. When making dressings, whisk just enough for 2 or 3 days and store covered. Freshness improves flavor and helps you avoid heavy bottled options. If you try any herbal tea, keep it mild and brief. Long, strong steeps are more likely to cause discomfort than extra benefit. Because this journey is about long-term comfort and clarity, give yourself small wins you can repeat. Keep a dedicated water bottle at your desk. Take a 10-minute walk after lunch, even when the weather isn't perfect. Indoor corridors count. Pre-chop vegetables on Sunday and put the condiments you want to use less often on a higher shelf, out of easy reach. Changes that reduce friction are the ones that last. Finally, keep the spirit of calm, careful observation you've already practiced. If something feels off, thicker sauces leading to afternoon fog, a new supplement coinciding with itchier skin, step back to the simplest version of your routine for a week and observe. Your notes turn confusion into clarity, and clarity into action. You're not aiming for a spotless lifestyle. You're crafting a reliable rhythm. A plain, filtered coffee in the morning instead of a sugary blend. A lighter sauce that still tastes like summer. A firm no to the alcohol plus acetaminophen combo. These are ordinary moves with outsized effects when repeated. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it will not only limit your results, but may also bring unwanted side effects. Take this as a clear, informative reminder to keep going with care. You've gathered clues with calm curiosity: steadier breakfasts, simpler coffee, lighter sauces, short post-meal walks, and notes that turn guesswork into guidance. Now it's time to bring the ideas together in a clear, safe, and practical rhythm you can prepare at home without expensive products or complicated steps. The point is simple: consistency beats intensity. A few small behaviors done reliably reduce friction on the systems that carry you through the day and help you feel like yourself again. Start the day with a cue that is too easy to skip: water before screens. Pour a 10-16-ounce glass and finish it while the kettle warms. Then make a modest filtered coffee. Use a paper filter, 1 to 2 tablespoons of medium grind coffee per 6 ounces of water, and keep add-ins plain. Skip syrups and whipped toppings. If you like milk, use a small splash and taste the coffee, not a dessert. Enjoy it before late morning so sleep stays predictable. If caffeine isn't your friend, use decaf and keep everything else the same. The routine matters more than the buzz. Build meals that keep energy even. At lunch and dinner, assemble what I call the bitter pair plus conscious coffee routine in food form. First, place a palm-sized portion of protein on your plate: grilled fish or chicken, tofu, beans, or lentils. Second, add the bitter pair: 2 small handfuls of arugula, escarole, or other peppery greens alongside a generous portion of colorful vegetables. Dress them simply so flavor stays high and added sugar low. Whisk 2 teaspoons of olive oil with 1 teaspoon of lemon juice and a pinch of salt. Toss with the greens just before serving. Third, include a modest portion of whole grains or starchy vegetables: brown rice, quinoa, roasted sweet potato, so you leave the table satisfied rather than prowling the pantry. Use movement as part of the recipe. A 10 to 15-minute walk after meals changes how the body handles sugar and helps many people avoid the heavy feeling under the right ribs that follows very rich plates. In suburban neighborhoods, walk the block. In cold climates, loop indoor hallways or climb a few flights of stairs. Consistency matters more than speed. If a brisk walk isn't feasible, stand and stretch while on a call or march in place during 2 songs. The point is to nudge, not to exhaust. Make hydration friction-free. Fill a pitcher in the morning and make plain water more appealing with a culinary-level infusion: a wide strip of well-washed lemon peel and a few lightly crushed mint leaves. Let it steep for 5–10 minutes. Remove the herbs, store in the refrigerator, and finish it by day's end. Keep infusions gentle and avoid long, strong steeps. If you take medications, note the timing in your log so you can keep routines consistent and track how you feel. Keep evening rhythms calm. Avoid liquid sugar after 7 p.m. Stick to water, seltzer, or unsweetened tea. If you drink alcohol at dinner, do not pair it with acetaminophen later. Follow label directions and keep the two separate. Build a bedtime runway. Dim lights, set your phone aside, and give your brain a short, quiet window to settle. Reliable sleep supports every system that works behind the scenes. Here is the promised bonus: a pantry upgrade that is simple, inexpensive, and easy to prepare. Add ground flaxseed as a gentle fiber partner to your routine. Start with 1 teaspoon per day, sprinkled over yogurt or oatmeal, or stirred into a bean salad. After a week, if you feel well, increase to 1 tablespoon. Grind whole seeds fresh if possible, or buy pre-ground and store them sealed in the refrigerator. Drink water with it, and if you take prescription medications, separate flaxseed by at least 2 hours to avoid interference with absorption. This is not a cure or a cleanse. It's a food-level habit that supports regularity and helps meals feel more satisfying. If you're sensitive to seeds or have a condition that requires dietary restrictions, talk to your clinician before adding it. To keep everything safe and effective, respect preparation and quantity. Wash produce well before infusing or dressing. Keep homemade dressings small and fresh. Use culinary amounts of bitter greens rather than concentrated extracts. If a new habit coincides with discomfort, itch that persists, unusual bruising, pale stools, pause and consult a professional who knows your history. Bring your 2-week notes. They turn a vague conversation into a clear plan. Now tie your day together with a 60-second checklist. Water before screens. Modest filtered coffee, plain and early. Stability plate at lunch and dinner. Protein. Plus 2 fists of vegetables. Plus bitter pear. 10-minute walk after the main meal of the day. Label check for sauces. Keep sugar from sneaking in. No liquid sugar after 7 p.m. No alcohol with acetaminophen. Optional bonus: ground flax seed. Introduced gradually, with water. This is the quiet power move. Small, repeatable steps that make tomorrow easier than today. You don't need exotic powders or intense cleanses. You need a kitchen rhythm that respects your life. Commutes, kids' activities, weekend gatherings, and those quick stops at the gas station where bottled coffee drinks try to tempt you. When you choose plain coffee over syrup, a homemade dressing over a squeeze bottle, and a short walk over a nap you don't want, you choose clarity over confusion. You build energy you can trust. If you've recognized your own habits here, treat that recognition as good news. You have levers you can pull today. Keep the routine simple, the preparation careful, and the doses modest. Share these steps with someone who could use a compassionate nudge. Save this plan where you'll see it and celebrate each week of consistency. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it will not only limit your results, but may also bring unwanted side effects. Take this as a calm, informed invitation to keep caring for yourself with precision and patience.